There is a pipe sticking out of my garden bed right now. It costs $2, and every single day, it produces what might be the most valuable fertilizer you can get, delivered directly to my plant roots for free. If bending over a compost bin makes your back ache, or if you are tired of buying bags of fertilizer every spring, this pipe is about to change your mind. Here is what it does underground. This pipe recruits earthworms, not the ones you buy in a bag, the ones already living in your soil. It draws them in using nothing but your kitchen scraps, banana peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, and those worms convert that waste into one of the richest fertilizers available, directly at your plant roots, around the clock. No composting bin taking up space in the yard, no turning heavy piles on weekends, no hauling buckets across the garden, no schedule to keep. The pipe does the work while you rest, and the science behind why it works is surprisingly well documented. But to understand that, we need to start with a man who studied worms over 100 years ago. Most people think composting requires sacrifice. You need a dedicated bin. You need to deal with the smell. You need to spend your weekends turning and aerating. And after all that work, you are still scooping finished compost into a wheelbarrow and hauling it across the yard to your beds. Then there is the other option, buying bags. $20 here, $30 there, granules that dissolve after the first rain. And every single spring, you are back at the garden center, buying the same product all over again. That cycle adds up. But here is something most people never hear about. In 1881, Charles Darwin published his final book. It was not about evolution. It was not about finches or coral reefs. It was about earthworms. He spent decades studying them, and his conclusion was remarkable. Earthworms process more soil than any other organism on the planet. They are, in his words, the primary architects of fertile topsoil. After World War II, agricultural research shifted toward synthetic chemistry. The focus moved from soil biology to soil chemistry, from living systems to manufactured inputs. And the earthworm, quietly, got overlooked. But the worm never stopped working. It has been building soil since before dinosaurs walked the earth. And with one simple device, you can put it back to work in your garden. Here is exactly how it finds your pipe. Earthworms do not have eyes. They do not have ears. But they have something better for this job. Chemical detection cells embedded in their skin. Every segment of their body can sense changes in moisture, temperature, and chemical composition of the soil around them. When you place organic matter inside a buried pipe, say a handful of vegetable scraps, that material begins to decompose. As it breaks down, it releases volatile compounds, organic acids, carbon dioxide, nitrogen-rich gases. These chemicals seep out through the drilled holes in the pipe and diffuse into the surrounding soil. Think of it like a restaurant with its kitchen vent blowing into the street. You can smell dinner from a block away. That is what the worms experience, except through their skin, not their nose. Earthworms detect these concentration gradients and move toward the source. Research has shown they can navigate with surprising directional accuracy, following chemical trails from several meters away. They enter the pipe through the drilled holes, feed on the decomposing scraps, and then they leave. And this is the part that matters most. When they exit, they do not just sit next to the pipe. They travel outward through your root zone, aerating the soil as they tunnel and depositing castings along the way. Those castings are concentrated packets of nutrients delivered exactly where your plants need them. The pipe is not a container. It is a rest stop on a highway of fertility. And every worm that visits spreads the benefit wider. And the fertilizer they leave behind? It is not just any fertilizer, but do not take my word for it. Try this. Take 2 garden beds that are roughly the same size, the same soil, the same sunlight. In one, bury a pipe. In the other, do nothing different. Feed the pipe your kitchen scraps. Banana peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, shredded cardboard every few days. Do not add anything to the control bed. Wait 6 weeks. Then pull a handful of soil from each bed. One will be darker, crumblier. You will see tiny tunnels lacing through it. It will feel alive in your hand. The other will look exactly the same as the day you started. That difference is the work of an underground crew you never had to hire, feed, or manage. They showed up on their own. They worked for free. And they delivered results you can measure with your own hands. Now let us talk about what that difference is actually worth. The numbers might surprise you. Worm castings, the material earthworms produce, can retail for $15 to $30 for a 5-liter bag. Some premium brands charge even more. The reason? Castings are not just nutrients. They are a slow-release biological matrix. Synthetic fertilizers give you 3 numbers: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, fast in, fast out. Your plants get a spike, then crash, and you are back at the store buying more. That is the cycle. Castings work differently. They contain beneficial microbes that colonize the root zone. Plant growth hormones like auxins and cytokinins. Humic acids that improve soil structure at a level no granule can match. A 2011 study published in Applied Soil Ecology found that plants grown with worm castings outperformed those given synthetic fertilizer in both germination rate and early growth. And the effect was sustained over the growing season. Now think about that. Your kitchen scraps, banana peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, the stuff, heading for the trash, become this. For free, every single day, 1 pipe, $2, and a supply of fertilizer that renews itself as long as you keep feeding it. Ready to build one? Here is exactly what you need. You need a pipe. PVC works. 4 to 6 inches in diameter, that is about 10 to 15 centimeters. Cut it 18 to 24 inches long, or roughly 45 to 60 centimeters. And if PVC is not your thing, I get it. Some folks prefer terracotta pots with the bottom knocked out. Food-safe 5-gallon buckets with holes drilled in the sides. Even old metal conduit. Terracotta breathes better. Buckets hold more volume. Metal lasts longest. Use what you have. The worms do not care about the brand. Grab a drill with a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch bit. You are going to drill holes all over the buried section of the pipe. Scattered pattern, not in neat rows. Every 2 to 3 inches apart, all the way around. Here is the logic. More holes means more entry points. More entry points means more worm traffic. More traffic means wider distribution of castings through your soil. Do not be shy with the drill. For the bottom, you have 2 options. Leave it open. This lets in ground worms enter from below, which is ideal. Or cap it with a piece of mesh or landscape fabric if your soil is very loose and you are worried about the pipe sinking. For the top, use a cap or lid. Something you can pop off to add scraps, but that stays secure otherwise. This keeps rain from flooding the pipe and keeps animals from helping themselves to dinner. Now, placement. Dig a hole in the center of your garden bed. Bury 2/3 of the pipe below the soil surface, leaving 1/3 above ground. Why the center? Because you want to maximize the radius of worm activity. Every direction from that pipe is prime real estate for castings. If you have multiple beds, one pipe per bed is enough to start. You can always add more. Now, some of you are thinking about raccoons, or that one dog who digs everything up. Fair point. Here is the rule. Keep the lid secure and never put meat or dairy scraps in the pipe. Those are the two biggest animal attractants. If you stick to fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, and cardboard, animals will leave it alone. Check the lid after storms, just in case. For those of you in colder climates, hold off on installing until the ground thaws. Worms go deeper in winter, but they come back up in spring. In clay-heavy soil, add a ring of sand or compost around the pipe to help with drainage. In dry or desert conditions, pour a little water into the pipe occasionally to keep things moist. In tropical areas, you will see faster decomposition. Just feed more often. Now that it is built, what goes inside? This part matters more than you think. Here is what goes in. Fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, filter and all. Crushed eggshells, shredded cardboard or newspaper, dead leaves, tea bags, as long as they are not made of plastic mesh. Here is what stays out, and why. Meat and dairy. Both produce ammonia as they break down, which repels worms and attracts animals. Oils and grease. They coat the worm's skin and interfere with their ability to breathe through it. Large amounts of citrus. The acidity disrupts the microbial balance. And anything treated with pesticides, because those chemicals kill the very organisms you are trying to attract. One tip that makes a real difference. Smaller pieces decompose faster. Tear the cardboard, crush the eggshells, chop the scraps. You are speeding up the dinner service. Frequency. Every 2 to 3 days is a good baseline. But this is a forgiving system. It handles gaps of a week or more without any problem. If you go on vacation, the worms will still be there when you get back. If you notice a bad smell, that usually means too much nitrogen and not enough carbon. The fix is simple. Add a handful of dry shredded cardboard or dead leaves. That rebalances the carbon to nitrogen ratio. The smell will be gone within a day or two. This is not a pet. You do not need to be precise. You just need to be consistent. Now, signs that the system is working. You will see dark, crumbly material accumulating on the soil surface near the pipe. The soil in a 6 to 8 inch radius will be noticeably darker and softer than the surrounding area. And the plants closest to the pipe will start outpacing the ones farther away. If you have already got one of these set up, you know. The soil around that pipe is different. You can feel it in your hands. The first time you lift that cap and see a cluster of fat, active worms, something clicks. This is not a gimmick. This is biology doing what it has done for hundreds of millions of years. You just gave it a front door. Before we wrap up, remember that experiment I mentioned earlier? If you set up that side-by-side test, one bed with the pipe, one without, here is what to expect after 6 weeks. Check the soil color. Check the texture. Squeeze a handful from each bed. The one with the pipe will not just look different. It will feel different. Darker, richer, crumblier, alive with microbial activity you can practically smell. And you spent $2 and some kitchen scraps to get there. The economics explain why this method stayed quiet for so long. It replaces a product that people buy every single season with something that costs almost nothing and renews itself. There is no recurring revenue in a $2 pipe and a handful of banana peels. But there is recurring benefit for your soil, for your plants, for your back. and for your wallet. If this made sense to you, subscribe. Every week, I break down simple research-backed gardening methods, the kind that save you money and save your back. No gimmicks, no fluff, just what works. Next time, how to rebuild dead, compacted soil in 60 days, using something most people throw in the trash. You are not going to want to miss that one. Every week, we dig into methods that actually work. Backed by research, tested by time. No hype. Hit subscribe so you do not miss what is coming next. And drop a comment below if you have tried a worm tower, or if you are about to build your first one. I read every single comment. Thanks for watching. Now go bury a pipe.